This is one of the most innovative firearms ever developed, the MBA Gyrojet, what is essentially a semi-automatic rocket launcher pistol. Very unique and very rare. Today, I'm going to demonstrate how to disassemble this firearm. Hi, I'm Jim Humphrey with Imminent Threat Defense Firearms Training, and I'm truly excited to be able to bring to you today possibly the only disassembly video on what is arguably the coolest gun ever made. Built in the 60s, this is the most significant departure in handheld firearm design since, well, the first firearms. The Gyrojet is so named because it fires a self-contained spin-stabilized rocket. This model, a Mark II Model C, has a 6-round internal magazine and fires the 12mm rocket. Quiet, with low recoil, capable of being shot underwater or in outer space, this ammunition had exciting potential. Unfortunately, MBA did not enjoy great success with the Gyrojet. Its disadvantages outweighed its advantages. But one of the things that makes the Gyrojet so interesting is the way it works. Because it doesn't have to contain forces anything like conventional firearms. It can be made from extremely lightweight materials and use very simple construction. Quite honestly, it's built like a toy. Well, let's have a look at inside. As always, remove all live ammo from the work area. The Gyrojet is built in 2 mated halves, held together with 7 screws. The front sight screw, 2 barrel screws, 2 grip screws, a slide lock screw, and 1 screw on the back of the receiver beneath the slide. The slide stop screw must be removed and the slide stop pulled out slightly in order to remove the slide. There is a detent ball beneath the slide stop lever. Be careful to retain it. The other screws are removed in no particular order. Notice the receiver screw, the grip screws, and the barrel screws are different types and lengths. The front sight screw can be loosened to adjust the elevation. The magazine spring is internal and under compression, so the 2 halves must be separated carefully. Okay, let's try that again. The 2 halves must be separated carefully. There really is no particular order to remove the parts. Here we have the magazine spring, the slide, the safety, the slide stop detent ball, the magazine follower, the hammer, the sear group, the trigger spring, the slide stop lever and spring, the firing pin, and the barrel. The slide stop can be removed and it's just these 4 parts. The action on the Gyrojet works in a very unusual fashion. It has the basic components, a hammer, a sear group, and a trigger. The hammer on the Gyrojet works in reverse. The hammer, when fired, moves to the rear and hits the rocket on the nose. This pushes the rocket back against the firing pin and ignites the rocket. As the rocket moves forward, it recocks the hammer. The safety has a friction spring and just drops into its slot. The magazine follower and spring can be set into the magazine track. The hammer has a coil spring, and the legs must be tensioned behind the spring post. All of the action parts have pivot posts rather than through pins. These posts fit into pivot sockets on both halves of the frame. The sear group spring
cannot be contained until the two halves are brought together. Once the hammer is in place, it is held until the other components are aligned. The yellow foam earplug helps hold the sear parts in alignment and is removed through the hammer spur slot after the two halves are mated. The trigger spring fits behind the hammer spring legs, and the trigger drops straight in. The sear components require some fussing to get them aligned. The two halves are carefully mated, ensuring all the pivot posts are fitted into the sockets on the right half. The magazine spring is compressed and the two halves are held together. Note, the sear spring still extends outside the frame, but first I'll loosely fit the flat-headed screw in the back of the receiver and the long pan-headed screw in the bottom of the grip. The sear spring is pushed back inside the frame, and the frame completely closes. The remainder of the screws can be installed. Then the slide and slide stop lever ball and screw are then installed. A function check completes the assembly. Note the hammer will dry fire with the safety in both the fire and safe positions. The safety pushes a gate up that blocks the firing pin and prevents the slide from coming back, but does not stop the hammer.
Hopefully you enjoyed looking inside the MBA Gyrojet as much as I did. I'm Jim Humphrey with Imminent Threat Defense Firearms Training. Enjoy your firearms, join the NRA, and be safe out there. Thanks.